Right now, in the middle of Nairobi, the government is building 3 roads that don't touch the ground. Not tunnels, not bridges over rivers, roads suspended in the air above the same streets Nairobians have driven on for 60 years. And it's happening faster than almost anyone expected. 3 separate mega projects, billions of shillings, all rising within a few kilometers of each other, all at once. The obvious explanation is traffic. Nairobi is drowning in it. Everyone knows it. But traffic isn't the real reason Nairobi is building this fast. There's a deadline behind all this, a date the government has never fully explained to the public. And once you understand what that date is, everything else, the pace, the money, the urgency, starts to make sense. Every city tells you who it is through its traffic. In Nairobi, that story is told every single morning. Commuters from Ngong, Karen, Dagoretti, and the city's fast-growing southern suburbs pour into a road network that was never built for this many people. A 20-minute commute becomes an hour, sometimes more. Multiply that across hundreds of thousands of commuters every working day. You're not looking at inconvenience anymore. You're looking at an economic drag on an entire capital. For years, the answer to congestion in Nairobi was simple: widen the road, add a lane, build a roundabout. That approach has reached its limits. There's no room to widen, so engineers turned the only direction left, up. Elevated roads, viaducts, and flyovers let through traffic pass above the congestion instead of fighting through it. It's the same logic behind the Nairobi Expressway, and now that same logic is being applied to the heart of the city itself. Here is what most commuters stuck in that traffic don't know. In 2027, Kenya will co-host the Africa Cup of Nations, one of the biggest sporting events on the continent. Millions of eyes on Nairobi, broadcasters, federations, fans, investors, all watching how the city performs on a global scale. And a stadium on its own isn't enough. You can build the most impressive arena in Africa, but if fans can't reach it, if athletes get stuck in traffic, if the road around it collapses under pressure, the tournament fails before it starts. That is the real reason Nairobi is building so fast right now. Every viaduct, every flyover, every single upgrade in this corridor is tied directly or indirectly to one hard deadline: 2027. At the commissioning of one of these projects, President Ruto put it plainly: Nairobi is being built for competitiveness, not convenience. Every road in this plan connects back to a single ambition: a capital city that's ready when the world arrives. It isn't just roads either. Kenya is rolling out an intelligent transport system across more than 210 junctions citywide, a real-time traffic management network being built in 3 phases, worth roughly 45 billion shillings in total. Signalized intersections, a modern traffic control center, the kind of system major host cities need to function under pressure. So, when you see pillars rising along Kenyatta Avenue, a flyover appear seemingly overnight near Junction Mall, you're not just watching traffic relief, you're watching a countdown. To understand what urgency actually delivers, start with the project that's already finished. The Ngong Road, Naivasha Road Flyover near Junction Mall was commissioned in June 2026. 4 lanes, an elevated dual carriageway separating through traffic from local traffic at one of the city's most notorious bottlenecks. Construction began in August 2024. Less than 2 years later, it was opened. The government says it can cut travel times through the junction by up to 60%. It was financed partly through a loan from Spain's Corporate International Fund. A reminder that these projects aren't only funded from Nairobi. International financing is quietly shaping how fast Kenya can build. And the timing wasn't an accident. This flyover opened just weeks before construction wrapped on Talanta Sports City itself, positioned to serve fans heading to the stadium it sits beside. It also came with cycle lanes, pedestrian walkways, and improved drainage. Small details, but ones that matter for a city trying to modernize, not just move cars faster. This is a proof of concept. When the deadline is real, Nairobi can deliver, which raises the question, what happens with the bigger, more complicated structure still rising a few kilometers away? This is the Kenyatta Avenue Upper Hill Viaduct, the most ambitious structure in this entire corridor. When finished, to run roughly 1 kilometer as an elevated dual carriageway connecting the Integrity Center, Pasirena Hotel, and All Saints Cathedral directly into Kenyatta Avenue. A second link structure will run from Milimani Locust toward the National Library on Ngong Road. Together, they'll thread through some of the most valuable, most congested real estate in the country. Upper Hill itself tells its own story. What was once a quiet residential neighborhood is now one of East Africa's most important business districts, headquarters for banks, insurers, and multinational corporations. That growth is exactly why this viaduct matters so much. It's not just decongesting a road, it's protecting the momentum of an entire business district. This project has actually been under construction since September 2020. It's taken longer than planned. The kind of complex foundation, column, and steel beam work that engineers say has to be done in careful phases to guarantee decades of safe use. Today, it sits at roughly 60% complete. The government has set a new target, open to traffic before the end of 2026. It even had its own viral moment. When those concrete pillars first appeared along the median, Nairobians joked online that Kura was secretly building apartments. The agency responded with humor, clarifying in Sheng that no, this was a viaduct, not a roadside housing. A small moment, but one that shows how closely this city is watching its own skyline change. Here's the part most people never see. How do you build a highway in the skyline directly above a business district that never stops moving? The answer is patience, sequencing, and a strict rule. Not a single building will be demolished for this project, except narrow strips of land belonging to All Saints Cathedral and the Milimani Locusts. Engineers built slip roads fast, giving traffic somewhere to go before the elevated sections ever began. Much of the heavy structural work happens at night, when traffic thins out, steel beams lifted into place while the city sleeps. so that by morning commuters find the road largely as they left it. It's slow, deliberate work. Every corner must be engineered to hold a decade of traffic above a live, functioning city center. Get the sequencing wrong and you don't just lose time, you risk the integrity of the entire structure. Which is why even now, sections of Kenyatta Avenue, Valley Road, and the Lasalase Avenue remain partly closed. Work that authorities say will continue for months as final bridge structures come together. And once complete, this won't just be a road for cars. Dedicated cycle lanes and pedestrian walkways are being built in from the start. A small signal that Nairobi's planners are thinking beyond traffic toward the kind of city this corridor could become. Zoom out, and this corridor is just one piece of something much larger. A 1.6 billion shillings upgrade is underway on State House Road. Access roads to Talanta Sports City are being built through a 3.9 billion shillings investment. And the government has committed roughly 30 billion shillings to dualling the 23.5 kilometers Kiambu Road corridor. Much of this stretches back further than people realize. Nairobi's Integrated Urban Development Master Plan, first drafted with a horizon of 2030. This corridor was flagged as critical missing link in the plan years before AFCON gave it a firm deadline. In other words, this isn't a plan built overnight for a football tournament. It's a decade-old vision that finally has a deadline, forcing it into reality. Whether that's the healthiest way to get infrastructure built under pressure against a clock is a fair question, but it's undeniably effective at getting things moving. Behind every billion shilling figure is a much simple idea: time. Every hour commuters spend stuck in traffic is an hour not spent working, not spent with family, not spent building a business. President Ruto has described congestion not as a transport problem, but an economic one, delaying workers, raising the cost of doing business, keeping customers from traders. That's the quiet maths behind all of this construction. Less time in traffic means more productive hours, lower transportation costs, and a capital city that functions the way a capital city host in the world should function. And there's something bigger at stake than convenience. When international broadcasters, athletes, and fans arrive in 2027, this is the city they'll see, not just a stadium, an entire capital mid-transformation beating on itself. So, the next time you're stuck in traffic beneath one of these structures, remember, this isn't just about the road above you. It's a race against a kind. I bet that a city can rebuild itself in real time without ever fully stopping. December 2026 is the next date to watch, when the Kenyatta Avenue Upper Hill Viaduct is expected to finally open, and 2027 is a deadline that started it all. When it opens, we'll be here walking it, driving it, showing you exactly what changed. My name is Matei. This is Explore with Matei. If you want to see Nairobi's transformation as it happens, subscribe and I'll see you at the next site.